Can I ask you a question?
Go ahead.
Why do you let bad things happen?
You ask very good questions. You know, Tracy, things that you might think are bad are not always bad. Sometimes there's a purpose you're not aware of.
But what about sickness? What about kids my age who get sick and die? Those are really bad things, aren't they?
Those are bad things. Yes, pain and suffering. That's a hard one to explain.
I'll bet.
I know this sounds like a cop-out, but there's nothing I can really do about pain and suffering. It's built into the system.
Which you invented.
Right. But my problem was I never could figure out how to make anything with just one side to it.
One side?
You ever see a front without a back?
No.
Top without a bottom?
No.
An up without a down?
No.
Okay. And there can't be good without bad. Life without death. Pleasure without pain. That's how it is. If I take sad away, happy has to go with it. If anyone knows another way, I wish they'd put it in the suggestion box.
Hello. How is everyone? And I just want to thank you all for tuning in to Live from the Pop podcast. And I am one of your hosts, Thierry Partee. And you know my better half is never too far away.
What's going on, TMP? What it do?
Hey, baby.
What's going on? What we talking about today?
So today I want to chime in on balance.
Oh, yeah.
So, you want to bring us in or you want me to try to...
Hey, come on. What's up?
Okay,
What part of balance are we talking about? Are we talking
just
about
balance, period. Balance, period, because, like, we just got this real crazy thing where we just have real childish ways of looking at things. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just talking about people as a whole. I'm not even being gender specific. I'm just saying, like, we all have this very childish way of looking at life and just not understanding that everything has, you see what I'm saying? Everything that you might look at as something that's amazing, or something that you might be attracted to a situation, or something that you might really want.
Right.
It's a drop off to that. And we got to understand, like, that's where the balance come in at, right?
Right.
And so I want to talk about, it happened so long ago, but I just want to, the first thing that what really made me just come to this conclusion about the balance is when the Will and Jada thing came up, right?
Okay.
So, you know, and I just have a real big problem with everybody calling Will Smith a simp.
Okay, we're going to go there.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Okay. Let's add some perspective.
Because I just feel like Will Smith is a very admirable man, period. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think he try to tell nobody what to do. He does try to give people good life advice.
Okay.
And, you know, that's what I appreciate about him. As opposed to me zooming in on his life, like mine's perfect or something, or like I need to model his. Right. No, it's just, you know, just the way that he is living his life and being happy in his own way is very respectable to me.
Right.
You know, and so with this situation with him and his wife and everything, it's just, you know, it's hard for me to, you know what I'm saying? Like, people go straight in on that thing. But, like, you know, that's not the only interview. That's not the only time you ever heard him talk. And you know what I'm saying? But we so limited that we take everything for just face value. And it's good to take a lot of things for face value, but you got to put some things into context too, right?
Okay, like,
if you listen to Will Smith, he done had more than one interview sitting at the table with his wife. And he will tell you that it's his goal to have a lasting marriage.
Okay.
Meaning, like, he done pick somebody and he want to see it to the end. A lot of us have a problem with seeing stuff to an end. And then not only that, he also talks about how he had a history of watching his mama get beat down real bad by his daddy.
Right.
Even though he valued a lot of things about his dad, his takeaway was that he was never going to be awful to women.
Right.
And see, the reason that I'm going in on that part is because, like, what people don't understand, like, there was a traumatic event for him to admire his dad in such a way, but then on the drop off side, like, he watched him berate his mom like that.
Right.
And so you got to understand that psychologically, he told himself that he would never be like that towards a woman.
Right.
Now, moving right along, as he get older, he tells himself that he's going to implement something different in his life.
Okay.
So instead of, so he sets his standard, right?
Right.
And he get with a woman, and he probably expressed this to her. Like, I don't want to be over you and try to make you feel inferior or berate you. We're equals. We in this together. I want a lasting marriage with you. And that put him in a situation, I feel. So what I think happened is Will Smith, and I can't say, but it just looked like this to me. And I just don't think he is a simp, because, like, he just don't strike me as a man that don't have a standard, who is letting anything go on around him. You see what I'm saying? He don't strike me as I'm just not getting it from him. You don't get to where he is in life without a standard. And that's what a simp is. A man without a standard, who letting anybody do anything to him. You see what I'm saying? He's putting his energy in the wrong place.
Most definitely.
But anyway, like, so what I think Will did, like, it put him in a situation where he went all the way. So what I would say what his daddy did would be left field for him, right?
Right.
So he like, I'm just going to go all the way to the right then. Right. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Instead of bringing it to the middle and mediating this situation, because I'm sure, I don't know, but at some points he realized why his dad made the type of decisions he did as far as putting his hands on his mama, but he didn't want to get there. You see what I'm saying? So it made him, and then, like, a lot of men don't get in touch because balance it's always been a thing that was talked about, but it's not really practiced like we like it should be. You see what I'm saying? So, like, this is a man, like, he was like, he threw away all of those ideals of how he seen his daddy deal with his woman. He just went to her and said, hey, how do you want me to deal with you? And she took that she took advantage of that situation.
Yeah.
Where, he is a man where, like, he's considerate of how I feel.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
And I'm really good with my words.
Okay.
So he set his standard, which is you see what I'm saying? Like, it's a moral standard. It's a civilized standard. So, it's not like, oh God, it's not nothing unbearable. So I'm going to pretend that I'm with the standard
that he's with, right?
Right. I'm going to pretend like I'm right. I'm going to pretend like I'm on board. And then at some point I'm going to sneak my stuff out.
Okay.
And so at some point it leaked. And, like, my biggest issue is with Miss Red Table Talk.
Okay.
Because my thing is with her, like, even her situation with the dude and all that, I don't even remember his name.
August.
Okay, but yeah, even that situation, like, you are Miss Red Table Talk. People, you getting millions of views of bringing people to your table to highlight they transgression and they bullshit.
Right.
My thing is, she should have led with her situation.
Right.
And it was, like, real disrespectful to her whole audience and everybody who been on her show for her to say that it wasn't nobody else's business, because you make it your business to get in everybody else's business.
Right.
Like, you know what you doing. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And, I just feel like she should have led with it. Right. She should have came in and she should have told everybody that she used to do that. Right. You know what I'm saying? And she healed from that. But the thing is, like, people would be trying to help you without being honest that they still going through something with that by themselves. But see, she wasn't trying to help nobody. She was just trying to get views.
So with that, that's that side of the game.
Right.
And so now you get into the part of the game where the reaction behind what happened with from the public perception. So we see this thing where I looked at it and
you got
they were saying that, man, you know, we'll a simp for it. And you know, I'm gonna be honest with you. I sat back for a minute and I was like, man, well, honestly, and I discussed this with you. Honestly, I understand when we say, you know what I'm saying, hey, when something happens, there should be repercussions, right? And I do get that, and I agree with that. And so that's where I took form and where I was like, man, I was to myself when I did that though. And I was like, damn, you know, I'm trying to dig in and understand a little deeper. And I get at a level of what he said, like you talked about his history, right? And there were also points being made about the brand and the business that they have. And then we got into discussions where he just stood by his decision.
Right.
Right.
And see, that's what a lot of us don't. That's where the balance fall off here, right?
He stood by his decision. He's like, look, man, I ain't gonna lie, fam. This is what I bought into, and this is the decision that I made. This is the marriage that I got into.
And I'm gonna see it to the end.
At that point, I don't know where. That's not my business.
Right.
Right. That's not my business or position to say that nigga's dumb.
Right.
Right. Like, I mean, I can see what people are talking about. I guess I can understand where people may have that judgment, but I really believe we get pulled into these things to help distract us further, because at the end of the day, it's really not our life. Like, what he eat don't make me, you know. So
exactly.
And then the biggest issue is
and so busy
I say, hey,
take
man,
a dunk off of what
you're a
somebody
simp.
else eating.
And then I say, you're a simp. But yet, the crowd of people that I'm saying this to, they don't know my background. They don't see my problems at home. You know, what if I have some shit in my lifestyle that resemble that too? Everybody out here who talk about people broke, talking about people paying their bills and shit like that, man, you probably lacking at something yourself.
Right.
And it's that part of the authenticity which that I don't understand, right? Like, you know, we can't do that without proper proof of authenticity of who you are yourself, right? Like, dude stuck by his guns. This is my decision. I mean, I don't know. Some people probably smack the hell out of her, beat the brakes off of her, right? Then you got other people, man, hey, when she woke up that morning, the whole house was missing.
The whole house,
the
she
whole
was just
everything.
on the ground.
She was on the ground, like
in
back.
the grass.
And I'm like, yo, how you choose to deal with things is it's on you. I understand the concept of, hey, you crossed this line, you crossed this boundary, we're out. But I want to break down into the part where this becomes about balance, right? We have to be realistic about the decisions we make.
Right.
This simp logic is really not. I think it's a rushed study of us not digging deep enough to what's really going on.
Yes,
with
and us
the
not being
formality
authentic,
of the family,
just being
right?
your real self.
The problem
and
is,
just, can I say my experience? Like, I brought it in with Will.
Go ahead.
Okay, so my own personal experience. So, like I said before that, you know, I always wanted to be just like my grandma. Mm-hmm. Because I watched a lot of women in situations with men where they could have been thriving, mm-hmm. and it didn't pop, because you see what I'm saying? Because the women was just like, they were berating their men. They was like doing too much. They was all out. They was trying to they just wasn't with the program. Right. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So I took that and I told myself that I'm not going to be anything like those women.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And then I get into my relationship and I kind of, not to nobody else's fault but mine, I just put myself in a position where I was kind of like a doormat. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm just like, oh, whatever you say, whatever you need. Mm-hmm. Because in my head, like, this is the proper way for it to work. Right. But that's wrong too.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
You did that because
on,
you did the exact opposite of what you saw.
And that's what we do.
To the far opposite.
Right. And that's exactly what I was saying Will did. He went to the far opposite.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm just gonna do the opposite of what I seen people do, as opposed to looking at it like,
and go from a balanced position.
Go from a balanced position. Right. Because like I'm a human, not a doormat. Right. You know what I'm saying? So I had to create a standard for myself, and then once I created that standard, that's when everything started being aligned and doing what it had to do the right way that it had to do.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? That's where like people just be so unauthentic in their relationship. Like, it ain't no such thing as balance anyway if you're not authentic first.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Right. Like, if you not really, like, let's just say, like, you coming together and y'all saying, baby, the goal is every time we get paid, we put all our money together, but I know everybody don't. Right. So let's just say a couple, they say, baby, every time we get paid, both of us gonna take 50% of our check and just put it in the pot. Okay. Now, somebody, they don't make the same money. Right. But you can have a person who make a little more, and then they put 25% in the pot instead of 50. Okay. You see what I'm saying? That's not authentic. You're not putting all of your energy into that. And you know what I'm saying?
What they did was try to match what you put into it.
Yeah.
She put $20 in there, so I'm gonna put 20. And when your 20 is 25%, if they put 20, that means you need to put 40.
Or whatever your half is actually. Right. Whatever your half is. It's not that you need to know. Just what you need to just be real to the program. Yes.
Yeah, be real to the standard.
You see what I'm saying? Like, really commit to what you're saying you finna do and just do it. Right. See it all the way through and see, like, we real good at reneging. Yeah. And like we were just talking about, all the people who was sitting up here putting their mouth on these people's relationship is a lot of people who don't even have a relationship.
So how important is that?
It's too important, because you're talking about a whole lot of people who don't even have what it takes to do that work. Ooh. To be in that situation where they can even get to that. You see what I'm saying? Because everybody want they want their situation to come to them as a finished product already. Right. But no, you finish your product. You put the touches on your product.
So this is what I'm gonna say. I obviously appreciate all the learnings and the teaching that we have upon us that we can, pull from when we need it, hell, because that's what we're doing right now. We're trying to put information out that we feel that can help. Yeah. So therefore, as I appreciate it, you have to also appreciate putting your phone down and turning the TV off and hitting the mute button sometimes, to go and let your own understandings suffice, to let yourself be yourself. You don't want to be a direct.
We got a lot of people taking themselves serious.
And you got a lot of people taking what they hear as fruition, meaning that as soon as I hear you tell me what to do on this TV screen or on this phone, that's what I try to do my work, meaning that I'm going to kind of do exactly what you told me to do. Right? You got to get into a point where you can mix who you are with the message. Right? And the reason why it's very important for someone to talk about what they're talking about to you, the reason why it's important for them to be authentic in that position from behind their microphone is because doing what you're doing, whatever decision you make in life, the things you're trying to cultivate, it takes passion. Like she just said, you have to be real about it. You have to be authentic, all in or none. Right? And so that means as well, the message has to be all in or none. If I don't know exactly what it feels like to get into a position of what I'm trying to teach you myself, then I can't really lead you there. All I'm doing is topicizing. All I'm doing is shedding light. All I'm doing is kind of letting you in on some of the studies that I've done. All you've done, really, when you haven't lived it, all you have done is studies. And at that rate, Google is our best friend. Google is our resource, not the actual event itself. Google is the one that's been through it.
Right.
Because
Google ain't even been through none. But yeah.
And all Google is other people's life. There's people that put it there. That's why you know what to say. That's
and
why
they put it there in their own perception.
Exactly. So therefore, that's why And I don't know, I'm speaking to the people who are listening, and I'm speaking to the messengers. That's why we all need to make sure we're balanced and authentic with trying to give a message, and also being realistic about receiving messages that we hear. Right? You have to be 100. You have to be part of it. And if that's what's only going to reflect. So basically, if you're trying to receive a message when you're really not about that life, you're really not about that change, you're just doing it to try to static you out a little bit, to get you a little bit of sanity as you keep going forward in your mess. That's why you don't see the full change. That's why you don't see that finished product that you hope for, because you're really not about it. And for the messengers, as we're trying to shed light and help people and things like that, if you want to see an improvement in the product that we're trying to push out here, maybe it's okay for us to dabble into things that we do know, that we do share stories into. Be honest about your real experience with women. Be honest about your real experience with men and teach from there, right? Also, make sure you are healed and in the process of healing, right? Make sure you know what you're talking about. Let's stop dibbling and dabbling and using other people's studies and using other people's advice. Because really all we are at that point, we're the middlemen, right? And we're trying to put ourselves in a position as teacher.
Or the source.
As help, right? Especially source. And that's unbalanced because it's not authentic. That's not real. And that's why the manifestation on the other side of what we're trying to do may not be what we're hoping for. Now, as we're on this speaker from Live from the Pot, it's going to do what we're trying to do. It's going to do what we're intending to do past that, because everything that we talk about, every topic that we bring up, every expression is all real. It's 100. No lie here. Ain't no soda on this. Here. Real talk. So
look, what you want to know?
On God.
For real.
That's how it is.
And it's like he said, we don't Google. This is life experience.
Oh, no.
You know what I'm saying? Like
we unlimited.
We young, but we done been through some stuff.
Yeah, dude, this is unlimited source. You gotta put a tap into our backside to get some, you know what I'm saying? But when it comes to simping and hoeing the logic behind all that, really, man, the way we see all that is a form of defense. It's really a form of defense. Really what we got to do is get back to the natural way of courtship and stuff like that. And your date life, the simp hoe logic, if there are simps, and the simps and the hoes that do exist, that's really just a byproduct of households, right? So that's why we should be working towards household every day. Should be working towards household. And what that means in code is, if you're going to fix household, you got to fix you, right? The only way you fix households are fixed one day and one person at a time, because a household ain't nothing but a place that's full of a group of one people, right? You are you, your spouse are you, your kids are who they are individually, everybody individually.
But everybody moving with the same influence.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying? It's only one influence in that house.
Exactly. So therefore, that's why at that point there has to be balance created, so the influence can be progressive. Yeah. And not regressive. Right. So therefore, if you build and fix yourself and heal yourself, there's no way you can be a simp or a hoe. If you build yourself and fix yourself and heal, there's no way there's no way your children are gonna be simps or hoes. Right? How? Why would they know to do that? Why would they think to do that? Simps and hoes aren't nothing but people that make improper decisions, man. And they're cowards. Cowardly people making bad decisions after another one, man. All they do is sit up and make bad decisions, and they're afraid of themselves. They are insecure. And they're afraid to go live life and be who they are. So they rely on the fickle acceptance of others. They rely on the fickle acceptance of others. Yes, it's not even real acceptance that they get. Right.
And we didn't finish listening to this, but we were just listening to, on the car ride, we was listening to TDJ's. And when he was talking about that agreement. You know what I'm saying? Like he was talking about how he is so different from his wife and his wife is so different from him. But, they have to come together on certain things.
Right.
Like it's a lot of things like, okay, we ain't gotta be the same right here, but we need to align when it comes to XYZ
right.
or ABC.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? A lot of things like, we all need to come together when it come down to family.
Right.
When it come down to how people want to do their relationship. And like we see things from such a mediocre perspective a lot of times where folks just feel like if I go to work and pay my bills and go on a few dates or trips, we good.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? But it's a much deeper way to look at things. And that's how it's because balance is deep.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like a lot of people like, okay, so regular balance is the woman cook, clean, and then the man go to work and then he come home and pay the bill. But you got women helping paying bills today too.
Right.
We don't really have no, you know what I'm saying? This ain't the kind of world where a lot of people can just, stay at home.
Right.
We need a lot of incomes going in.
Right.
So it's a different type of, and then even when you think about that, like I was just talking to my aunt and she was like, the same lady who I said I want to be like, she said she was looking at her when she was younger and she was like, oh no, I would never. When I get grown, I'm going to be this certain way.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And then back then it made sense. It made sense for the women to just be at home and then all she could do is just sit there and she had to cultivate her children and make sure her house was clean all day and do this all day.
Right.
And the man, most men, they was out all day. You know what I'm saying? Probably working a 9 to 5, probably hustling.
Right.
They was doing something, but they had to bring bacon at the end of the day.
Of course.
And it's like, man, look, you know what I'm saying? So that put it in a position for them to kind of be the ones that had the standard. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah.
I get
And
you.
it's like, these days, everybody need a standard.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It wasn't a bad idea for people to have standards back then. But just women, we put ourselves in subjective positions.
How?
Very subjective. Just, you know what I'm saying? I hear people all the time talking about the old school women was always like, they didn't back talk. If your man had you messed up, you just let him be angry because you don't know what he had to deal with out there all day.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It was just a different type of peace that was in our women back in the day.
Right.
Even though it might have not made them happy, they might have felt like it made sense because they understood the pain or you see what I'm saying? They just understood what they men were going through to some degree.
And because all that.
And a lot of us watched it and we was like, oh no, we throwing that way. We throwing that way away.
That was
instead of bringing some balance to it.
That's what
instead of saying,
their response
okay,
was
so
the
I
other
will,
side.
yes.
Right. Their response was way to the other side. Right.
Right. We're going to do the opposite.
Right.
We're going to throw that whole idealism away.
Which led us
we don't
to-
want to do any of that. And that's why we got so many headstrong women today. And it's okay to be headstrong, but it's just like, what is your purpose for being so headstrong, Miss Lady?
If it worked out, huh?
Yeah, even if it worked out, because we just headstrong
for
about
nothing.
Like I was telling you the other day, we just like, look, it's our time. Give me my sheet of paper. I'm finna draw my big old house. I'm finna draw my moon and my sun on there together. I want this is what I want.
It's effective.
And I'm headstrong about that.
It's effective, right? And it's not to say that's not cold message to say, hey, endorse head strength. Look, it's not. I'm not saying that like an immediate attraction to that. I'm not saying men are I'm attracted to headstrong women. My thing is, you are who you are, right? That's cool.
Yeah, but that's not the point I was trying to make.
No. Exactly. That's why I'm making it. Like, it's cool or whatever, you are who you are, but if you're gonna be in that area where you come with all this head strength, make it make sense.
Yes. Make it make sense.
That's all we were saying. You know what I'm saying? Like, because hey, there are some women out here with a bunch of head strength. Does it make sense? Is it working?
It's just emotionalism, and that just
Exactly.
go back. We taking control over everything with our emotions.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like, how are we harboring over logic with emotions?
Right.
It don't work like that.
You can't. You gotta have balance.
Like the way that it should work, the balance of it is, okay, this is the situation that we have, right?
Right.
Okay. So how do we feel about this situation?
Right.
And the only reason it's important to figure out how you feel about the situation is to evaluate how you're going to actually deal with it.
Let's help out and do a real life scenario.
Go.
Back and forth with each other. And who got the issue, me or you? I'll take
you
the
make
issue.
it up, it's you.
All right, let's go with one. All right, I'm sitting in the car and I'm stressing. You could tell something wrong with me. So you come through, you holler at me. What's going on?
Hey, baby, what's wrong with you?
This is the usual response. Nothing.
Nothing? You just looking like that.
Yeah, man, I'm just, you know what I'm saying? I know what's going on with you. You all right?
I'm good.
All right. So that's the usual response. And then because of that response, nothing has been tended to that needs attention, and you didn't come up with a solution probably. Because honestly, you're a man, you're an adult. What's wrong with you being honest about where you are right now, right? And that's a defense mechanism that we use, because as men, let's be honest, the other side of women learning how to be hoes on TV, we learn how to act hard in an unrealistic way.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So therefore,
you should have just used the scenario from this morning that actually did happen.
So we were coming from a trail. We did a run exercise this morning through the woods and stuff. And as we were getting in the car, I hit my head. Right, I banged my head on the roof of the car as I was getting in, and I'm like, man, I'm talking about I hit it hard in a way to where I felt like I caught a migraine, and it was near the eye area. So I'm like, damn, I probably cut my eye open. I won't be able to drive us to the crib. So, but I was seeing flashes go on. Right, it was weird. Right, and so I'm like, yo, come check this out for me. I need help.
Yeah, he told me to come and check it out.
But I didn't like that response that I gave. I didn't like the fact that I had to, hey, ask for your help, right?
But he didn't say never mind.
Right, but when you came up, I was actually distant. As you came around and giving me assistance, I was like, nah, I got it. I'm good. I'm straight. And you was like, man, you called me way over from my position of getting comfortable, getting ready. I just got through exercising. And you asked me to come over there to help you just so you can reject me.
That was not fair.
I was like, damn, I ain't think of it like that. I really didn't. I was like, oh shit, and so I was being transparent. I said, you know what? She was transparent enough to say, hey, that annoyed me that you asked for my help and you threw me away as if you don't need me. You act like you don't need me. And I was like, damn, you was being transparent about it. So I returned the favor. I was like, well, yeah, I tightened up because I ain't want to feel weak by asking for your fucking help.
Yeah.
That's just real. And I was like, you know, hey, my bad. I'm going to keep it 100. It's all good. Hey, let's just keep it real, man. Be who you are.
Right.
And see the balance in there. And look at what I did when I didn't keep it in the balance. I played myself. I actually needed her to check to see if I was bleeding, and I would have put myself and my wife in danger by me trying to tighten up and stay off balance.
And then ain't that something like how just balance will come naturally when you authentic anyway?
Exactly.
Like the balance come from a position where people are trying to be what they think the status is.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? They trying to be status quo. They're trying to be acceptable for everybody else. But see, the thing is, you got to do what work for you.
Right.
That's why I don't give people life advice. I don't give people relationship advice. I give people self advice. And the only self advice I give is, hey, evaluate yourself.
Right.
What is going on with you? Like what is, you know what I'm saying? Like what are your thoughts that you don't tell people about? Like you need to work through all of that.
Right.
And like really once you work through all of that, you will get your answer. And I know that's the answer because that's what I had to do.
That's what I did as well.
You know, because you can't take on everybody's ideas because everybody love to be these people. It couldn't be me. You know, everybody know them people well, it can't be them. You know, everybody know who, if it was me, I'd do it this way. But it's not you.
Question. When you were born into this world, was that an authentic moment?
Me being born into the
When
world.
you were physically born into this world, did that actually happen?
That actually
was
happened.
Was that fake?
I was here.
That wasn't a fake
a
moment.
dream. It really happened.
That was an authentic moment, right?
Yes.
Your life begins authentic, nigga. You being born was an actual authentic event. So why would you think that shit authenticity needs to take a back seat? Right? One way in, one way out. And it sounds like authenticity. If you can keep authenticity through and through, it's going to create balance for you. When you veer off the end where you don't belong, that's when you're at your weakest, man. Man, try to be a bird like, man, I'm finna I can get down here with Free Will in them. I can go hop up in the river. Get your wings all wet and soaked up. And you come to find out, you like, damn, wait a minute, I'm not a great swimmer. Now, if you got it in you to go ahead and say, well, this is a challenge I want to take up, I will be a great swimmer, but go ahead, be honest about yourself. You didn't go down into that ocean because you had it set in your heart that you were going to become a great swimmer. You went down in that ocean because the other birds in the air with you want to show out in front of them. You're trying to be like you're not. You want to try to stand out and take credit in an unauthentic way. And so you did that, and you're going to go down there and drown because that's not who you really are at your strength.
Right.
The real person that actually does swim with the dolphins is the people that goes when no one is looking and practice.
Right.
They go almost drown a little bit here. They go bump their head on the rocks under the water a little bit there until they actually learn how to swim with the dolphins. That's an authentic thing.
Right. And the authenticity in that is that you went to go and work for that.
You went and worked for it.
You went to go and put the grit in.
You earned
to
it.
get right.
That's
you see
why
what I'm
you're
saying?
winning.
Right.
You're winning because you earned it. You're not winning because you didn't earn it.
Yeah, because you don't want to do the work.
You didn't earn it.
Right.
It's not for you. Make it for you. And the only way to make it for you is to create balance. And the only way to start off creating your balance is being fucking authentic with yourself.
And that's just crazy. Like, even that just made me think about you talking about swimming with the dolphins. But think about the people who walk on the street. Is it the trapeze? Where you have to literally balance yourself
up there on the tightrope. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It take work to get that balance, don't it?
It
take work to get
there. I bet.
You know what I'm saying? I bet. I know. You try to just get on there and do it.
Get on a thin wire and try to walk across.
You do it. And see, that's where we add a lot of people. But
and that's okay.
It's
okay.
not okay because we live in a world
I'm
where
talking about it's okay where as you start to do that, you fall a little bit.
Yeah.
That's okay. That's normal.
The process.
Like the problem is when people actually see we watch too much. That's why you gotta get off the phone, get off YouTube, get off Facebook and IG sometimes.
Get
man.
off the TV.
You're
watching your
doing
favorite
nothing
show.
but watching a recycle of people's finished product.
Yes, and then like a lot of times you're not probably watching a finished product. You seeing what people want you to see. And because I can probably guarantee you we don't have a lot of finished products out here.
And I'm gonna tell you, as you're listening and watching live from the pot, this one of the most. This ain't nothing but authenticity. This nothing finished product about us. We are in the process.
Yeah.
As we grow, you probably grow with us. What it do? Let's do something.
Right.
You dig? This is a process show. This ain't a finished product. I'm not the king. You feel me? I'm not trying to be that. I'm not that. Hey, that isn't realistic. How the hell I'm a king? Like, what if I told y'all my bank account right now? Right? What if you knew where I live at right now?
You told me your bank account.
Hey. That's because you don't be caring about how I live. It's all good. But what if you don't know where I live? You don't know what kind of car I drive. You don't know what's in my fridge. Look, when it comes to public perception, we ain't all that. We just basic people.
Yeah.
We're just your average Joe, dog. You know what I'm saying? Like we're. But when it comes to us, when it comes to myself, I'm all that. Right? I have to have that balance. I know. See, the thing is, you got it wrong, man. When it comes to outside, I know that I am seen as an average Joe, and I'm okay with that. because I have balance when it comes to myself within me, I am the shit. Right? So when you're only stuck on one side, you're done. If I'm on the side where all my world exists of is that I'm only the shit, trust me, I'm going to be very antisocial. That leads to me thinking that my head is higher than others. That leads me into an unrealistic place. And usually you don't become successful that way. I'm going to be honest with you. If you don't get a leg up, you're not going to be successful that way. You're going to be obnoxious. You're going to be a narcissist, man. That's how you get in there. And if you're on the side where you're not all high and mighty in yourself, you're just, all your life is don't nobody like you. That's depression, fam. That's beating yourself up. That's not getting it done. That's, you don't believe in yourself. You don't have faith. You can't live on either side of this realm.
Yeah, you got to get to a place where what everybody else think don't even matter no way.
Right. So
you see what I'm saying? Like, you gotta move in confidence. Like, who cares if people looking at you with like an average Joe? What is you looking at
when
yourself
you're
like?
Out, when it comes to the world, be okay with not being the finest nigga in the room. I gotta say that to men because men doing this popularity shit now. Women, be okay without having the biggest butt in the room, being the finest chick in the room, right? Having the most snatched body in the room. Stop flogging, because that ain't what you really looking for to be healthy.
And then right, because like why you mad at that snatched body? Like, you that don't even body understand. Getting it in. Like, yeah, she go and hit them stirrups downtown.
Because to her,
she eat
at
right.
home and within herself, she is the shit.
Yeah,
that's why you perceive her that way. Because you know what? When you look at her, you say she is the shit. Because
she treat herself like it. She don't just say it to herself. She live like it. You gotta put all the context with it.
What if you treated yourself like you were the shit?
Yeah. What if you cared about what you was eating and cared how you treat? And see, it's not always. We got this thing where it's always about what we getting, what are we receiving? Like, what type of person are you to other people?
What do you give?
Yeah.
What do you have to offer?
Right. What do you even offer your immediate family?
What do you have?
You know what I'm saying? Are your folks looking at you like you a grumpy, cranky, selfish piece of just a low class type of person? Or, you know, do you have this thing where people, your family got a high regard for you and they respect you because you have self-respect? You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And your self-respect is reflecting when you respect them. You see what I'm saying? Like, people don't understand. Like, when you show how much respect you really don't have for yourself, when you show, you know what I'm saying? Like, when you berate people, when you walk in a room and you like, don't talk to me. I'm too, you know what I'm saying? You know how the girls, they be having them long nails and they be having the blue hair with their shopping cart and they be walking out fast, putting hot Cheetos and Faygo in their basket and they like, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Running through the grocery store, kids bad.
Yeah.
Don't even say excuse me.
Yeah. No
you
manners.
See what I'm saying? Yeah. But like, those are the cocky females.
Right.
But you see what I'm saying? She cocky. She look like she got all that confidence, but real people understand that is just so much insecurity bleeding all over the place. And she got little insecure. She got her little children, they growing up, and they gonna be a product of what she is, because that's the influence that they got.
We breed unbalance.
Yes.
And we create an unbalanced nature doing that.
Right.
So, man, that's what we want to discuss today. You know what I'm saying? We have to understand the importance of balance, right? And one of the secret weapons to creating that balance is authenticity.
Yes, and work. Work.
Put it into fruition. I don't know what type of partners that you are, but you may be a person that's full of ambition and doing it, but your partner may be full of great ideas and detail. Put that shit together. Mm-hmm. Push each other, right? If he moved too fast and jump out the porch, you can slow him. You can pace him with your ideas. Get involved. And if she moves too slow, get down there with her. Get her involved. Help her. So y'all can come off that porch and, man, win together.
Yeah.
That's what balance do to you. You sit down and you come to an agreement. You come to an understanding, and then I understand your strengths and weaknesses as well. You understand mine. And so now, because we know that and we get that and we agree upon it, now our path has been created and we see it. That's what you get out of balance.
Right.
And that's why it's so important. And if you're living a life without it, you're probably not living a life. Thank you all.
So true.
Thank you all. Thank you for joining Live from the Pot for another live detailed topic discussion. Ain't nothing but peace and love. And I always thank God for your new understanding and growth. Peace out.